And we're back. We just watched Iron Man 3.
Hmm
Uh, so what did you think?
The fight scenes were fun, but it was kind of confusing. So, mediocre overall. This is actually the first time I've seen it. I didn't see it in theaters or when it came out at all.
Did you enjoy this better than Iron Man 1 and 2?
About the same.
Oh.
But, I don't know. I think I liked all the suits. That was actually unexpected.
The suits were pretty good. I guess the climax where he was changing suits was pretty fun.
I didn't know that he had all those different kinds of suits.
Well, that was his PTSD.
Hmm
So in his PTSD, he just was not sleeping and making all these suits. That's why they're all kind of weird, or they broke apart a lot easier. The last one was actually like snapping.
Yeah,
So
I know.
that's why. Because he was not sleeping and he had PTSD.
Hmm
So that's why they weren't very good.
What about you?
I didn't like it.
No.
No, I never liked it.
Um,
Well, I mean, like you said, it doesn't make any sense. A lot of things don't make sense.
mhm.
The big thing people who don't like the movie usually talk about the Mandarin, the big twist, and the twist doesn't make any sense. Um,
It didn't seem much of a twist, really. Because he starts in the beginning saying you create your own, what was it,
demons.
demons, and that's the first guy you see, and you're like, oh, so he's gonna be the villain.
No, not Killian, the actual Mandarin, the actor.
Okay. Oh, the actor
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, well, obviously Guy Pearce's character is the bad guy. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that
obvious.
was
I
like
mean,
kind of weird. I'm like, well, I knew he wasn't the real Mandarin, honestly, because, uh,
you knew he was going to be an actor?
well, I knew that the other guy, Killian, was the real bad guy, so he couldn't be the real Mandarin.
Well,
Anyway,
throughout the movie, they said he was working for the Mandarin.
right.
So.
Oh, that actually was the Mandarin? I don't know. I guess I just wasn't surprised that it was
Well,
him.
okay, so it sets up with Guy Pearce's character pretending to be working for the Mandarin.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they were showing Guy Pearce more often, the Mandarin was supposed to be the main bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying, oh, he's working for. Remember the lady at the car? She's like, oh, my boss is working for the Mandarin.
Well, she wasn't. She was lying the whole time.
Well, she was right about him because he was working for the Mandarin according to her, but she didn't know the Mandarin wasn't real.
Mm-hmm.
She thought her boss had a boss, but her boss didn't have a boss. The boss's boss of her boss was actually the subordinate of her boss.
Hence the reason why the movie's so confusing.
Yeah. And the thing is, the reason why he got... So, I mean, okay, so yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So,
Anyhow.
he has the extremists. People are blowing up.
Yes.
He wants to cover that up by pretending that it was the work of a terrorist. Okay, so he talks about, oh, I need anonymity. Anonymity was my cocoon. That's how I function. And talking about being anonymous. Nobody knew who he was, all that. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And then he said, and obviously he has to cover up his failed experiments because he wants a buyer. He has the vice president.
Right.
So he blames
and the
it.
vice president is interested because his
Daughter has
is
one leg.
is an amputee.
Yes.
That's the only reason?
Well, you inject yourself the extremis, you grow a new leg, bada boom, bada bing. Again, the vice president didn't know that people were blowing up. That's why he created the Mandarin to pretend that somebody else was setting off these explosions. The thing is, he wants to cover this up, right? He doesn't want to draw attention to himself. But then he's like, I had to create this supervillain, over the top, flashy guy. He said, like, oh, ever since the big guy with the hammer came out of the sky, subtlety has had its day.
That's reference to Thor.
Right. But I think it's to cover up the fact that that doesn't make any sense. That the entire statement doesn't make any sense. Because, okay, he wants to cover things up. He wants to be anonymous. Why is he creating a big supervillain to take the credit? I mean, you can have the explosions and blame it on a terrorist group. That's fine, but then you have this big show of this character coming on TV, like The fortune cookie is an American invention. You'll never see me coming. Like that whole thing. So that's going to get the attention of Tony Stark or other superheroes. And then he's going to be found out. So either he wants to remain anonymous or he wants to create a lot of attention for himself. He tries to do both, and it's presented as like a big diabolical plan. Makes no sense. Yep. And also they don't need an actor for the Mandarin. Well, I mean, what happened whenever Tony found the Mandarin? He's like, oh, well, nobody got hurt because he's just some drunk idiot that doesn't realize he's actually really like involved in this stuff. Which means he was quick to just tell Tony Stark and James Rhodes everything.
He didn't tell them everything.
Almost everything. Like, you know, he told them enough that they were hip to the plan. Right. And that means, you know, the bad guy could have just dressed up one of his henchmen, like the bald guy, and had him be the Mandarin. You don't need an actor to that. All you need is like some guy, like, you know, fake beard saying, I did it, that was me, and then you don't really need an actor.
Okay.
Because people are going to believe, like, well, I just saw an explosion, and now this guy broke into my TV, he said he did it, that's believable. No one's going to say, that guy's not quite a believable person. That doesn't happen.
No?
No, so you don't need an actor. And what's even worse is the bad guy said that he knew who the actor was because he did a rendition of King Lear in, I think, London or somewhere, right? So, obviously he's not super famous, but he's well known enough to be known by some American guy because he was on stage in England. He's a stage actor. So, eventually, somewhere down the line, somebody's going to recognize him.
Yeah.
And maybe not right away, but eventually. The next reason why that doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of reasons why. Okay, so the Mandarin is supposed to be the leader of the Ten Rings. That's a terrorist group.
Right, but that was the terrorist group that imprisoned Tony, and weren't they destroyed?
They more or less destroyed.
That whole branch of them was destroyed.
The implication was just that branch.
Okay. And
but I mean,
that's a real terrorist organization.
Right. So he made a fake leader
that world.
Of a real terrorist organization.
So wouldn't the real terrorist organization want to have words with him?
Or they really denounce it. And then that actually happens a lot where these terrorist organizations will denounce, like if the media says, oh, we believe this group did it, that group will come forward and say, no, we didn't do that. Because they want to be, you know, they want to have ownership of the things that they do.
They actually do.
Yeah, so terrorist groups tend to do that. I mean, it's not like...
For real?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I can't think of any examples right now, but yeah. They do take credit or they denounce credit for things they didn't do. Yeah.
Okay.
So, actually I do think of some, but I don't want to get, like, political on
So
here.
does Pepper dies, but doesn't die?
Well, remember, the extremist people can regenerate, so... That's why they're regrowing new limbs and stuff.
Well, if they can regenerate, then the bad guy can come back?
We can't regenerate that much. We got blown into pieces.
Yes. I did think it was a little weird that Pepper was the one who ended up killing him, the bad guy. It's totally out of character.
I thought you'd like Badass Pepper.
Yeah, I do like Badass Pepper, but she's still sweet and nice and, you know, she's not Black Widow.
Right.
She's a different kind of badass.
Oh, so if you saw Black Widow or Agent Carter coming out and kicking ass, you'd be okay with that?
Sure, but her picking up one of those bullets, swinging it, you know, and blowing them up, that was like... And she did kind of go, whoa, that's very violent.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, it was a little strange.
Yeah.
So she's, what are they called?
Extremist.
Fiery person?
Extremist.
Extremist?
Extremist.
Extremist?
Extremist.
So she's that for the rest of her life now?
No, because at the end they said he fixed her.
Oh.
Another thing too is at the end, like, oh, by the way, we did a surgery, so she's not a fire person anymore. So.
And it was kind of implied that the whole time he has this thing in his chest because he's too scared to get that shrapnel out.
I think it's just because he liked being Iron Man so much that he just didn't bother to take it out.
But he's still Iron Man in the next movie.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing too.
Avengers movie, and like I didn't even notice that he didn't have the chest thing anymore.
Yeah, I think you'll notice it now.
Now I'll notice it because I actually saw this.
His chest isn't glowing anymore. Yeah.
And like it makes sense that he would have PTSD, but.
You think so?
Well, after New York, I suppose.
See, I didn't buy that either.
I was just like, okay, I get it, but I don't think it's plausible. I don't know.
I didn't buy that either, because I mean, sure he almost died, but he always almost dies.
Yeah.
In every movie, he almost dies.
I get it, but then does he have the PTSD in the next movie where he's in?
He does.
He does.
Like if you actually go back and watch Age of Ultron, which we'll do later, like, that's why he creates Ultron, sort of, because he's still kind of.
Oh, that's why he creates Ultron.
Yeah.
Because
he's still kind of afraid
of... He wants the robot to fight instead of him?
No, but he's still afraid of the aliens and stuff.
He thinks the aliens are coming back.
Yeah.
That's why when the little boy asked him if the aliens were coming back, he had a panic attack.
Yeah. I guess he's afraid of aliens more. And I mean, I don't buy it
that... Well, they did try to destroy New York.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's like... He always almost dies, right? His origin is about almost dying. Like,
oh yeah,
his origin.
Why did he have PTSD about the cave? You know,
exactly. You think of anything, the cave would actually be more traumatic. You know,
that was the first time he like was in the thick of it.
Right. I mean, he did come out of that way. He's kind of weird when he first came out.
And why doesn't Pepper understand that he's going through that kind of stuff? You know, like she seems to be mad at him for not being the perfect boyfriend, but doesn't she know who she's dating?
Yeah, like, right. He's already,
like,
you know.
Yeah,
see, there's a lot of
he's
things.
Iron Man. You know the way he is, and then you're mad at him for being himself. Come on.
Exactly. You know.
You should know what you're getting into. When
well, he said that. He's like, you know, he knew what you were getting into.
Like,
so.
You should have known. But yeah, he should still be a nicer guy. You should still treat her better, obviously.
Sure. And he tries to do better.
The bunny was a little weird.
Don't
buy me a giant bunny like that.
Too late.
You did? Where are we going to put it?
It's on the roof.
Alright then.
But yeah, a lot of things. The PTSD, the thing is, it makes him look kind of like a wimp, right? He gets PTSD from the alien invasion, but like all the other Avengers are just like, okay, I guess off to the next adventure, and they don't really seem to be affected.
Right.
I mean, granted, I guess for Thor, it's like, I mean, he's an alien.
He's seen
you know,
crazier things, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He like fights giant demons and things like that. So.
But I guess the others are like soldiers or SHIELD agents. Banner's always kind of crazy.
He's the Hulk.
He's the Hulk, so he's always sort of like
He'll be fine.
a little bit, you know, out of it a little bit, like, you know, but yeah, the movie just didn't really work well.
It was fun to watch the fight scenes, I think, and seeing him jump between the suits. That was fun.
That was fun. I kind of liked that.
And seeing him and Rhodes fight without their suits on was fun.
Yeah.
That guy was a little weird, kind of cheesy, kind of like
Yeah, it's one of the forgettable.
I was like, oh, right, he's
villains.
a villain.
Yeah. Okay, right when you see him, like, oh yeah, villain. He has like that villain, the villain suits. Just if you guys see a guy like all in white,
it's got the villain scowl, and it's like.
And he's flirting with like the guys.
Very ironic. They had him all tatted up, and I'm just like, right. Tattoos mean you're a villain.
I think it's a good way at the end he said, well, I am the Mandarin, so the Mandarin in the comics has like the dragons and stuff, dragon tattoos.
Oh, that's what they're from the comic books.
Yeah, there is a Mandarin in the comics. No, there's a lot of reasons why that particular character could not actually be in the movie. There's kind of a history of him having the was called the Yellow Fear or something like that. Yellow Threat.
Fear.
Back in the 1960s, if the villains weren't Soviets, sometimes they were Chinese, and they were not. Yeah, it wasn't Marvel's proudest moment.
Nice.
And over the years, obviously they've kind of made him less racist.
Yeah.
So the comics, he's more of a criminal overlord kind of a guy. He looks more normal,
Normal? What do you mean normal?
I'll show you a picture after this is done, but like
Okay.
it's a racist character. It's not flattering.
I'm glad they.
You look at it, you're like, yep, that's
don't
racist.
Do that. No.
That's a whole lot of racist right there.
Like, nope.
It's yeah. Also, he is a criminal scientist that has 10 rings. That's why the 10 ring. Yeah.
Organized.
10 rings, one on each finger. They each have a different weapon. Like one is ice, one is fire. One lets him fly, one creates force fields. There's a laser one I think, I don't know, makes him invisible. I don't know. They all do something different things.
So they're defense weapons as well.
Yeah, but they were created by a race of giant dragon aliens.
Dragon aliens?
Giant dragon aliens.
Wow.
One in particular named Fing Fang Foom. Fing Fang Foom.
Okay.
His name. It's weird.
Weird.
Yeah, like
very weird.
It would not work very well with the Marvel movies. Maybe if you saw like a Thor or like the Guardians of the Galaxy where you get some weird stuff, but the Iron Man movies tend to just be about like evil scientists and stuff. You get into giant space dragons that give rings of magic to.
Like Green Lantern?
Like Green Lantern, but there's like. It's kind of science, kind of magic, kind of a thing, kind of like Thor, kind of like both. Like so,
like Doctor Strange kind of sciencey.
No, because Doctor Strange is more magic, but more like so advanced in science that it looks magic, kind of a thing.
Okay.
And also, he was a kung fu master. It's a weird character.
Wow.
And also like they wanted to market this towards the Chinese audience. In China, they're beginning to show Marvel movies, and there's a huge market there. There's a lot of people there, so they have the audience, and having a Chinese bad guy called the Mandarin may not have been quite PC for them.
No.
May not be. So I'm not.
Mandarin's their language.
Yeah, but Mandarin can also refer to. Wait a minute.
Mandarin's an orange. Right?
Huh? What?
And a mandarin's also an orange.
Right.
Small orange.
Yeah. And he was dressed like one of their emperor. He was actually dressed like a Mandarin emperor. Like it was bad. Okay. So I could get it where they wouldn't have that character in. I would have been cool with Ben Kingsley. That was the guy who played the actor. Ben Kingsley was just a terrorist, a quirky terrorist. I would have been okay with that. Without the twist, just, I'm a terrorist. And, I would have been cool with that.
He talks like a Southern Baptist preacher.
Yeah. But just the twist itself just made no sense. It wasn't that funny. I didn't find it funny.
And I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He goes out, he's like, don't go in there. Waka waka. It's a poo joke.
Wow.
It's a poo. They revealed it with a poo joke.
He said don't go in there for at least 20 minutes.
Yeah. They made a poo joke, and it's just like, you know what? I mean, masturbation joke, sure. But a poo joke, I think it's a little lowbrow.
Then you don't want to see the Emoji Movie, because then Patrick Stewart makes lots of poo jokes.
Did you see that movie?
No, but I heard about it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's it. It's almost 20 minutes just me ranting about this movie.
Yeah.
Jeez. Anyway.
So what's the next movie?
Thor: The Dark World.
Oh. Have I seen that one?
Yes, you did. But it was a long time ago, and it's a bit of a forgettable movie. But anyway, we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.